Prince Harry and Meghan Markle have reportedly faced increasing criticism, with some commentators even describing Meghan as one of the most unpopular public figures today. Recently, Prince Harry came under fire for comments he made about his children, Archie and Lilibet. His remarks sparked significant backlash, leading many critics to question his perspective on family and royal life. From the very beginning, some observers believed Meghan Markle underestimated the challenges of joining the royal family. Critics argue that she thought she understood how the institution worked, but instead made a series of decisions that created controversy and division. Others claim that Meghan has worked hard to position herself as one of the most prominent and talked-about figures in modern media. Then came 7 words from Prince Harry that reportedly sent shockwaves through royal circles. 7 words about his own children. 7 words that some royal insiders believe confirmed concerns they have been quietly discussing for years. Stay until the end, because what may be coming for his daughter is perhaps the most troubling part of the story. Even among the relatively small number of people who still support Harry and Meghan, many reportedly no longer want to be publicly associated with them. According to critics, agents, publicists, and studio executives increasingly view such connections as a liability rather than an asset. One executive reportedly summed it up this way: "If you're linked to them in an article or photograph with them, your box office potential may actually suffer." Then came a statement from Harry that drew widespread attention. "Things didn't land the way I expected." Read that again. This was a man speaking about his own children, not a business deal, not a Netflix project, but his children. Royal commentators on both sides of the Atlantic immediately took notice.
Why?
Because Prince Harry rarely admits mistakes. He rarely breaks from his established narrative. He rarely says the quiet part out loud. Until now. Meanwhile, critics continue to argue that Meghan Markle overestimates her popularity. Some claim she believes she can attract larger crowds than Catherine, Princess of Wales, but they insist she misunderstands public sentiment. According to these critics, many people view her as self-focused and disconnected from public expectations. When you strip away the polished language, the reality becomes clearer. Archie has never attended a British school. Lilibet has never developed a meaningful relationship with her cousins, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis. They have never walked the halls of Windsor Castle. They have never seen the corridors where their father grew up. They have never heard Big Ben from inside the palace grounds. They may be British by birth, but they're American in nearly every other sense. And Harry knows that royal titles hold little practical value in Montecito. Prince is simply a title on a passport. It opens no doors in California. It earns no curtsy. It carries none of the cultural weight it does in Britain. The debate surrounding Prince Harry's parenting has intensified in recent months. His comments about his children have fueled discussions about whether he has regrets regarding the path he chose. Many observers believe he is beginning to acknowledge that things have not unfolded as he once imagined. But according to critics, that wasn't the event that affected him most this week. They point instead to a photograph that Meghan Markle shared on Instagram during the couple's 8th wedding anniversary celebrations. The post featured numerous wedding photos designed to evoke memories of 2018, the dress, the carriage ride, and the famous kiss. However, one image attracted particular attention. The photograph appeared to show Prince Harry being corrected on his wedding day by a woman outside his immediate circle. That woman was Maria Teresa Turrion-Borrello, the trusted nanny of the Wales family. Trained at Norland College, one of the world's most prestigious childcare institutions, Maria has spent years caring for the children of Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. The image quickly became a topic of discussion among royal commentators and social media users, adding yet another layer to the ongoing public debate surrounding Harry, Meghan, and their relationship with the royal family. The world knows Maria Teresa Turrion-Borrello as one of the most respected nannies in Britain. She has cared for Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis since they were infants. Her dedication and professionalism were recently recognized when King Charles III awarded her the Silver Medal of the Royal Victorian Order. That honor is far more than a simple thank you. It is one of the highest forms of recognition available to trusted members of the royal household. In many ways, It reflects the confidence and respect the royal family places in her service. Critics quickly pointed out the irony of the situation. At a time when public appearances were reportedly attracting limited attention and media scrutiny was intensifying, Meghan Markle shared a photograph from her wedding day that many viewers found unusual. The image appeared to show Prince Harry engaged in a serious conversation with Maria Teresa Turrion-Borrello on one of the most photographed days of his life. Why would one of the royal family's most trusted staff members be speaking so firmly to Prince Harry during such an important occasion? According to commentators, the answer may have involved Princess Charlotte, who was only 3 years old at the time. Reports and footage from the wedding suggested that the young princess became upset during parts of the day. Observers have long debated the circumstances surrounding those moments. In the photograph, Maria's expression appears calm and composed, while her posture conveys confidence and authority. Many royal watchers interpreted Prince Harry's body language as suggesting that he was on the receiving end of a difficult conversation. Some commentators argued that the photograph revealed far more than Meghan Markle may have intended when she chose to share it publicly. According to royal commentator Taz, the image appeared unusual because it seemed to capture a tense exchange between Prince Harry and the nanny trusted by Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales. Others noted that the children in the photograph appeared cautious and uncertain, fueling additional speculation. Some observers also pointed out that Prince George and Princess Charlotte were reportedly removed from portions of the wedding proceedings after Harry and Meghan's vows. Given the long-standing reports of tension surrounding the wedding preparations, many royal commentators speculated about what may have been happening behind the scenes. However, much of the discussion remains based on interpretation rather than confirmed facts. One thing was clear to critics: the photograph did not convey the warm, romantic atmosphere usually associated with wedding anniversary tributes. Instead, it sparked fresh questions. Many viewers wondered why the image had been included at all. According to critics, Meghan Markle may have believed she was sharing a heartfelt memory. Instead, they argue, she unintentionally reignited old controversies and public debates surrounding the wedding. And the controversy did not end there. Commentators noted that tensions between Prince William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, on one side and Prince Harry and Meghan Markle on the other, were reportedly already significant during that period. Much of the discussion centered on disagreements involving the children, particularly Princess Charlotte, who is said to have become distressed during wedding preparations. When asked whether the anniversary post was simply another public relations misstep, some commentators argued that it reflected a broader pattern of poor judgment. Around the same time, Meghan Markle also shared a story involving a British Airways anniversary card. She presented it as a thoughtful gesture from airline staff, explaining that crew members had signed the card and provided gifts for the family. The story quickly attracted media coverage, with several outlets reporting on the gesture. However, critics questioned why such a routine event was being treated as major news. Some dismissed the coverage as insignificant and overly promotional. Then, internet users began examining the card more closely. As screenshots circulated online, attention shifted to several unusual signatures, including 2 that appeared to read, "Richie Rich." The discovery triggered another wave of online commentary, speculation, and debate, adding yet another chapter to an already controversial week for Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. If you're over 50, you probably remember Richie Rich, the famous cartoon character known for being wealthy, spoiled, and completely out of touch with reality. For decades, the character has been used as a symbol of excessive privilege and entitlement. That is why critics quickly took notice when 2 signatures on the British Airways anniversary card appeared to reference the name Richie Rich. According to commentators, the discovery transformed what was intended to be a flattering social media post into another source of online ridicule. Critics argued that whenever public perception appears to be turning against Meghan Markle, another publicity effort seems to emerge, often involving travel, celebrity appearances, or carefully staged moments. Some royal commentators claimed that the British Airways anniversary story was another example. According to several retired flight attendants who joined the discussion online, anniversary cards are not unusual. They explained that airlines routinely provide such gestures upon request. In fact, they noted that passengers can often arrange these acknowledgments in advance through their booking, much like requesting a special occasion dessert at a restaurant. The reality, they argued, was far less dramatic than the public narrative suggested. Rather than being an unexpected tribute from devoted airline staff, the card was reportedly part of a standard customer service offering available to many passengers. Critics claimed that Meghan Markle shared the card expecting admiration, only to face skepticism instead. Royal commentator Taz later highlighted information from British Airways that appeared to support those claims. According to the airline's published guidance, passengers celebrating anniversaries can notify crew members in advance. Depending on circumstances and crew discretion, couples may receive a complimentary bottle of champagne and a signed card from the flight crew. The information suggested that such gestures are not unique and can be arranged as part of normal customer service. As a result, critics argued that the social media post failed to create the positive reaction that may have been intended. Instead of admiration, the story became another topic of online mockery. Yet none of this fully explained why Meghan Markle appeared to embark on a highly public anniversary media tour in the first place. According to some commentators, the answer could be traced to a recent appearance in Geneva. Supporters reportedly viewed the event as an opportunity for Meghan to reinforce her image as a global humanitarian and public advocate. Expectations were high. Security preparations were reportedly extensive, and supporters believed the appearance could mark a significant turning point in her public profile. However, critics argued that the event failed to generate the level of public interest they had anticipated. Images and videos circulating online appeared to show relatively small crowds, leading commentators to question whether the event had achieved its intended impact. One particular image attracted widespread attention. A woman standing nearby at a bus stop appeared completely uninterested in the speech taking place only a short distance away. Online critics quickly seized upon the moment. The woman checked her watch, looked at her phone, and appeared focused entirely on her own routine. At no point did she seem interested in the event unfolding behind her. For critics, the image became symbolic of a broader problem. They argued that despite the titles, publicity campaigns, and media coverage, public fascination with Meghan Markle had significantly declined. Commentators reviewing footage from the event claimed that there were few visible spectators and little evidence of substantial public engagement. Some even joked that street performers in major cities often attract larger audiences. As debate intensified online, the discussion expanded beyond crowd size. Internet researchers began closely examining the content of the speech itself. Within hours, social media users were comparing portions of the remarks to previously published material, including articles written by journalist Dana Ruskin for the Chicago Tribune. These comparisons quickly fueled plagiarism allegations across social media platforms, although such claims remained the subject of ongoing debate. Meanwhile, attention also turned to Meghan Markle's recent tour of Australia. According to various commentators, expectations surrounding the tour had been extremely ambitious. However, critics claimed that the actual financial and public impact fell well short of those projections. Whether fair or not, these criticisms reinforced a growing narrative among detractors that public enthusiasm for the Sussex brand was continuing to fade. For those critics, the anniversary photographs, airline card controversy, Geneva appearance, and Australia tour all pointed toward the same conclusion. Maintaining public attention had become increasingly difficult for Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Critics argue that public interest in Prince Harry and Meghan Markle continues to decline. They question why people should take environmental advice from Prince Harry while he is frequently criticized for using private jets. Likewise, they question why the couple speaks about online child safety while regularly sharing aspects of their family life through media and social platforms. According to commentators, the Sussex brand once commanded appearance fees reportedly approaching $1 million. Today, critics claim the couple often travels internationally for engagements that generate only a fraction of that value. While Meghan Markle was facing criticism over her appearance in Geneva, another debate was already unfolding in Hollywood. Commentators began discussing the long list of high-profile figures who attended the royal wedding in 2018 but are no longer publicly associated with the couple. At the center of those discussions was Oprah Winfrey. Some insiders claim that Oprah has maintained only a limited connection with the couple and remains interested primarily because of the possibility of future headline-making interviews. Critics argue that any remaining relationship is driven less by friendship and more by media value. According to one commentator, many former supporters distanced themselves because they eventually concluded there was little substance behind the public image. The criticism intensified following the couple's highly publicized interview with Oprah Winfrey, which remains one of the most controversial moments in modern royal history. The discussion then turned to George Clooney and Amal Clooney. Commentators noted that despite attending the royal wedding, the couple has not publicly demonstrated a close friendship with Harry and Meghan in the years since. Critics point to the lack of invitations to major events and humanitarian gatherings as evidence of growing distance. The same observations have been made regarding David Beckham and Victoria Beckham. According to reports, David Beckham traveled to support the Invictus Games in earlier years, yet relationships between the two camps reportedly cooled over time. In contrast, David Beckham has frequently been seen attending royal events alongside King Charles III and maintaining a positive relationship with senior members of the royal family. Several commentators have argued that many Hollywood relationships are built on influence, status, and strategic networking rather than genuine friendship. According to this perspective, celebrities attended the wedding because it provided access to the British royal family and global publicity, not because of deep personal connections. Another name frequently mentioned is Serena Williams. Although she was once considered one of Meghan Markle's closest celebrity allies, reports suggest their relationship is no longer as visible as it once was. Commentators claim that Serena has increasingly focused on other friendships and professional priorities. Similarly, Idris Elba, who famously DJ'd at the royal wedding, has reportedly grown closer to projects associated with King Charles III and the King's Trust. Royal commentators have pointed to Idris Elba's participation in projects connected to the monarchy as evidence that he has chosen a different path from the one taken by Harry and Meghan. Many observers describe Idris Elba as one of the more respected and widely liked figures in the entertainment industry, making the reported distancing particularly noteworthy. The list of former associates continues. James Corden, who was once publicly linked to the couple, rarely speaks about them today. Jessica Mulroney, once considered one of Meghan Markle's closest friends and a key figure at the royal wedding, became embroiled in controversy in 2021. Critics noted that Meghan remained largely silent during that period, leading some observers to question the strength of their friendship. Commentators also highlighted the reported fallout between Meghan Markle and Victoria Beckham. According to reports, tensions emerged after Meghan allegedly suspected Victoria Beckham of sharing information with the media. The accusation reportedly angered David Beckham and contributed to the deterioration of the relationship. Meanwhile, the Beckhams continued to strengthen their ties with other members of the royal family. David Beckham has maintained a strong relationship with Prince William and has frequently appeared alongside King Charles III at public events. As critics review the guest list from the 2018 royal wedding, they often point out that few of those high-profile relationships appear as strong today as they once did. One notable exception is Marcus Anderson, the influential Soho House executive who remains closely associated with Meghan Markle. However, commentators argue that the more significant challenge facing Prince Harry may not come from Hollywood at all. Instead, attention has shifted to the future of the Invictus Games. Reports indicate that Melanie P., a respected member of the Invictus Games Foundation Board of Trustees, has stepped down from her position as vice chair. Her departure immediately sparked speculation about potential leadership changes within the organization. The discussion intensified when royal commentator Neil Sean suggested that Mike Tindall could eventually become involved in a more prominent role connected to the Invictus Games. For many royal watchers, that possibility is highly significant. Mike Tindall is a former England rugby international, a respected public figure, and the husband of Zara Tindall, the niece of King Charles III. He is widely admired by veterans and military supporters and has maintained a strong relationship with the royal family throughout his public life. Most importantly, critics point out that Mike Tindall has never publicly criticized the monarchy. For that reason, Speculation about his potential future involvement has generated intense debate among royal observers and has become one of the most discussed topics surrounding the future direction of the Invictus Games. Perhaps one of the most interesting developments involves Serena Williams. Commentators note that Serena has not completely distanced herself from Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, but reports suggest the relationship is no longer as close as it once was. According to reports cited by royal commentators, Serena Williams introduced Meghan Markle to her agent, Jill Smaller, in 2016, long before Meghan became a global figure. At the time, Meghan was still building her public profile through acting and her lifestyle blog, The Tig. Sources reportedly describe Serena's current relationship with the couple as cordial rather than particularly close. For many observers, that distinction speaks volumes. Meanwhile, attention has increasingly shifted toward the future of the Invictus Games. Commentators claim that preparations for future events have faced significant challenges, particularly regarding funding and organizational concerns. Critics have also raised questions about expenses associated with appearances connected to the Games. Some have alleged that resources intended for wounded veterans are being diverted toward image building and celebrity promotion. These claims remain the subject of ongoing debate, but they have generated considerable discussion among supporters and critics alike. Observers argue that veterans, donors, trustees, and board members are paying close attention to how the organization evolves in the coming years. At the same time, critics claim that Prince Harry increasingly relies on his royal connections whenever public support begins to fade. They point out the irony that the same institution he publicly criticized is often viewed as the one entity still capable of restoring credibility to his public image. While these debates continue, commentators have shifted their attention to life inside the couple's home in Montecito. Some observers argue that Prince Harry is now confronting the long-term consequences of decisions made over the past several years. According to critics, Harry has occasionally hinted at regret regarding the direction his life has taken, particularly when discussing his children and their future. As a result, his recent comments have reignited debates about whether he feels disconnected from the world in which he was raised. Much of that discussion intensified following the release of a family photograph that quickly spread across social media. The image showed Meghan Markle standing in high heels while Princess Lilibet sat on the floor nearby. The accompanying caption referred to her as "my little helper." Within hours, commentators and parenting critics were analyzing every aspect of the image, debating whether the pose was natural or carefully staged. Some argued that the positioning reflected a deliberate presentation for the camera, while others dismissed the criticism as excessive speculation. The debate expanded beyond a single photograph. Commentators pointed to a broader pattern they believed reflected the dynamic between Prince Harry and Meghan Markle during public appearances. During previous tours, including visits to Australia, critics observed that Harry often appeared focused on assisting Meghan, opening doors, carrying items, and ensuring her comfort. Some argued that these gestures made him appear more like a supporting figure than an equal partner. Others viewed the behavior simply as courtesy and attentiveness. The differing interpretations fueled yet another online debate. Attention also returned to older family videos, including footage of Archie interacting with his mother in a garden. Critics analyzed the child's responses and behavior, drawing conclusions about family dynamics based on brief clips. Supporters, however, argued that such interpretations were unfair and based on limited information. One recurring criticism centers on the children's apparent separation from extended family members. Commentators frequently point out that Archie and Lilibet have little visible public interaction with grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles, or relatives connected to either side of the family. For critics, this absence raises questions about the children's long-term relationship with both the royal family and the broader Markle family. Another anniversary video also generated discussion online. Viewers noticed that a celebration cake appeared to feature 4 candles despite marking the couple's 8th wedding anniversary. The observation led to a flood of theories, interpretations, and speculation across social media platforms. Some viewers claimed the video felt overly staged or rehearsed, while others dismissed such criticisms as attempts to create controversy where none existed. Regardless of the differing opinions, The discussion highlighted how intensely every public appearance by Harry and Meghan is now scrutinized. That scrutiny extends to virtually every aspect of their lives. Online forums continue to debate the limited number of publicly released photographs of the children and the family's overall approach to privacy. Other rumors have resurfaced repeatedly over the years, including various unverified claims circulating online. It is important to note that many of these allegations remain unsupported by credible evidence and should be treated with caution. Nevertheless, critics argue that unanswered questions often persist in the public conversation long after the original stories emerge. Beneath all the speculation lies a larger issue. Commentators suggest that Prince Harry faces uncertainty regarding his children's future relationship with Britain, the royal family, and their royal heritage. Critics claim that he cannot provide clear answers because major family decisions are increasingly viewed as being driven by Meghan Markle's preferences. According to these commentators, Meghan has made it clear that regular visits to Britain are unlikely. Whether those claims are accurate remains unknown, but the perception continues to fuel debate among royal observers. As a result, attention is already beginning to shift toward the future. With major anniversaries approaching and public interest remaining intense, many commentators believe the next few years could prove decisive for both Prince Harry and Meghan Markle as they attempt to define the next chapter of their public lives. According to many royal commentators, a major turning point may still lie ahead. Some believe that Oprah Winfrey remains one of the most significant figures watching from the sidelines. Critics argue that if a major personal or family crisis were ever to emerge, media organizations would immediately compete for the exclusive interview. Whether that prediction proves accurate remains to be seen, but it reflects the level of speculation surrounding Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. At the center of these discussions is a question that has followed the couple for years. What happens if Prince Harry's desire to reconnect with Britain eventually conflicts with the life he has built in Montecito? Commentators argue that such a situation could force difficult choices. There is no longer any realistic possibility of a half-in, half-out arrangement with the royal family. That option effectively ended when Harry and Meghan stepped away from royal duties in 2020. If future decisions require choosing between life in California and a deeper connection to Britain, critics believe the consequences could be profound. Some argue that remaining permanently in Montecito could further distance Harry and his children from their royal heritage. Others suggest that any attempt to rebuild stronger ties with Britain could create tensions within his current family life. Regardless of which view proves correct, many observers believe difficult decisions may lie ahead. Meanwhile, critics point to what they see as a steadily shrinking support network. They note that David Beckham appears closer than ever to King Charles III and Prince William. They argue that George Clooney and Amal Clooney have largely moved on with their own lives and priorities. They observe that Idris Elba has strengthened his association with projects connected to King Charles III. They point out that Serena Williams appears focused on different friendships and professional commitments. And they continue to speculate about future leadership roles connected to the Invictus Games, including the possibility of greater involvement from Mike Tyndall. For critics, these developments reinforce a narrative that Prince Harry is becoming increasingly isolated from many of the people who once surrounded him. Perhaps the greatest irony, they argue, is that the one person who could potentially help restore some measure of stability remains King Charles III. The same father whom Harry publicly criticized in interviews, documentaries, and his memoir is often portrayed by commentators as one of the few figures still capable of helping repair damaged relationships within the wider royal family. Whether such reconciliation is possible remains uncertain. What is clear is that the debate surrounding Harry and Meghan continues to evolve. Critics argue that many of the challenges facing the couple today are the result of choices made over several years. They believe relationships deteriorated gradually, opportunities disappeared over time, and public opinion shifted piece by piece rather than all at once. In their view, the story was not defined by a single event, but by a series of decisions that accumulated over time. Most importantly, observers frequently express concern about Archie and Lilibet, who remain at the center of public discussions despite having no role in the controversies surrounding their parents. Commentators often note that the children will ultimately inherit the consequences of decisions made by adults around them. As a result, many royal watchers believe the real long-term story is no longer about celebrity friendships, media coverage, or public appearances. Instead, it is about identity, family, legacy, and the future relationship that Archie and Lilibet may one day have with both Britain and the royal family. According to critics, the fairy tale many imagined in 2018 did not collapse overnight. It faded gradually, relationship by relationship, controversy by controversy, and decision by decision. Whether the future brings reconciliation, further separation, or an entirely different path remains unknown. For now, one thing is certain: the story of Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, and their place within the modern royal narrative is far from over.